Foundation engineering. So for any structure, actually, for any structure to rest on earth, okay, based on bearing capacity, we need to give some foundation. Like suppose building construction, we need to give foundation. For roads construction, we need to give foundation. Bridges, we need to give foundation. Towers, high tension towers, we need to give foundation. So any civil engineering structure generally rests on earth, okay. But actually the materials we use for structures having more strength, like suppose concrete, bricks, see all these things are, all these materials, steel, every civil engineering material is superior than earth actually. That means the stresses in the structure actually may be high. That much more stress, that much high stress cannot be sustained by earth. That means the soil cannot sustain that much stress. That's why we need to transfer the load properly to the lower layered, lower layer, lowered layers, okay. We need to transfer the load to the below layers of the earth. So to transmit that, we need a foundation actually. So this subject is about foundation engineering. Here we cover 6 chapters. Number 1 is subsoil investigation. Subsoil investigation. Subsoil investigation is nothing but before designing a foundation for any structure, we need to understand the soil below the earth level, okay, below the ground level. What kind of soil is there? If sometimes rock may be there, what kind of rock it is? Soil is there means what kind of soil it is, how much load it can sustain, all these things we need to investigate, okay. That topic is called subsoil investigation. Second one, earth pressure theories. See, to retain the soil, sometimes we construct retaining walls, okay. So how much force comes on the retaining wall, we need to estimate. This earth pressure theories are about this estimation of horizontal thrust on the wall, retaining wall, okay. Then third chapter, stability of slopes. Stability of slopes. So this is actually, if profile of the soil profile is in inclined manner, like hilly areas, the soil may slide due to its own weight, okay. So to check the stability, we have some theories we will discuss in detail, okay. Stability of slopes. Then stresses due to applied loads. So here, suppose some
voice break
ground level, a point load is on the ground level. What kind of stress will develop at deeper layers? Suppose line load is there, how much stress will develop in deeper layers? Sometimes strip load may be there, sometimes circular load may be there, sometimes rectangular load may be there, sometimes irregular load may be there. So because of these applied loads, what kind of stress will develop in the underneath layers? So we need to estimate all those things, okay, in this chapter. Stresses due to applied loads. Then shallow foundation. Shallow foundations, so like isolated footing and all, okay. How to design, how to estimate bearing capacity and all, we need to discuss here. Then then last chapter is pile foundations. Generally, if topmost layer of the soil is very weak, then we need to transfer the structure load to the very deeper layers. So for that, pile foundation is useful. Okay, all these are the 6 chapters generally we study in foundation engineering. So it's very important for gate exam. So almost 6 marks, 6 to 8 marks we can expect from this subject. Okay. So subsoil investigation, earth pressure theories, stability of slopes, stresses due to applied loads, shallow foundations, pile foundations. Okay. Today we'll discuss about earth pressure theories. Basically, we have Rankin's earth pressure theory, Coulomb's earth pressure theory. Okay, these two theories we have. So we'll discuss one by one. First one, Rankin's earth pressure theory. Rankin's earth pressure theory. Okay. So here our aim is suppose this is the ground level. Okay, and at some depth take an element, soil element. Okay, say take soil element. Suppose this is the vertical pressure sigma v. Sigma v. What would be the horizontal pressure? Sigma h is how much? Here basically sigma h equal to, so k times of sigma v. See here we are estimating horizontal pressure due to vertical pressure. Okay, so you can estimate vertical pressure anyway, gamma h kind of thing. If you know the vertical pressure sigma v, just by multiplying k you will get horizontal pressure, where k is here, k equal to earth pressure coefficient. Earth pressure coefficient. So why we need to estimate sigma h means, suppose if you construct a retaining wall like this, I am showing here on retaining wall, simple retaining wall. Something like this. Okay. So this is the retaining wall. Okay. So here to design this retaining wall, we should understand what kind of force, how much force will come on this wall, how much force will come on this wall. We need to estimate. So, and how much force will come on the wall, and at what height the resultant acts. Suppose this is h. Okay, at what height it acts. So we need to estimate these two things. Okay, one is resultant force on the wall. So why force is coming means, see, because earth is imposing some force on the wall. Suppose sometimes you can understand in some other way also. Suppose if there is a similar wall like this, Suppose water is retained here like this. Water on the wall. This is actually wall. Water is retained means suppose this water height is some H water is there means, you know, the pressure distribution on the wall is like this, right? The pressure distribution on the wall is like this. Here, the pressure at bottom is gamma W. That means unit weight of water multiplied by H. So the resultant is now here area of the pressure diagram half into gamma WH multiplied by H, and it acts at H by 3 from base. So this is water pressure actually. See, water pressure, you know, at any point in the water, suppose you take a water element. Suppose this is the water. Suppose if you take an element like this at a distance of some x. So vertical water pressure is how much? Sigma V equal to here gamma W into x. What about sigma H? Sigma H also gamma W into x only. That means in case of water, the pressure in all directions is same. That means vertical pressure is gamma W into x means horizontal pressure is also gamma W into x. But in case of soil, it is not the case. Okay. Here in case of soil, sigma H is not equal to sigma V. So to get sigma H, we need to multiply sigma V with K. That coefficient is called earth pressure coefficient. So that is the difference between water and soil. Okay. So here our task is, in this chapter, our task is how to calculate resultant force on the wall and at what height it acts. Okay. So of course you need to understand what kind of distribution is there. Distribution of the earth pressure. See, water pressure distribution you understood here. Water pressure distribution means top 0, bottom gamma WH. That is the water pressure distribution. Similarly, here we need to understand what kind of earth pressure distribution will be there. What is the earth pressure at top? What is the earth pressure at bottom? What is the variation? What is the total earth pressure? All these things we need to understand in this chapter. Okay. See, in Rankine's earth pressure theory, we have some Rankine's theory assumptions. We have some assumptions here. First of all, first one, the soil is dry and cohesionless. That is, cohesionless means friction angle equal to 0. Sorry, C is 0. Cohesion is 0. C equal to 0. Pi is non-zero. Okay, this is the cohesionless soil. Dry and that is like sandy soil. Okay. Number 2, the wall surface is smooth. That is no friction between wall and soil. That is second assumption. Okay. Third one, okay, we can have an assumption that the top surface of soil is horizontal, or the top surface of soil is plane. At least we will assume plane. Okay, plane, no curved surface. Okay, plane surface. It can be inclined sometimes. Okay, it is plane. So next one, okay, these are the 3 basic assumptions actually here. So with these assumptions, we will start learning of what is the earth pressure theory. Okay, here basically 3 types of earth pressures are there. 3 types of earth pressure. Number 1 is active earth pressure number 2 passive earth pressure number 3 at rest earth pressure. At rest earth pressure. So for any structure, for any retaining wall, we can estimate all these 3 kinds of earth pressure. So okay, so what is meant by active, what is meant by passive, what is meant by at rest, we will see in detail. Okay, first of all, suppose take a retaining wall, simple retaining wall like this. Let us assume this is the retaining wall which retains the soil like this. Okay, now because of this retaining wall, soil is retaining and soil is trying to push the wall away. Okay, the soil is trying to push the wall. Because of that, the retaining wall may move outwards, okay, away from soil. The retaining wall is trying to move away from backfill. This is backfill actually. Okay, if this retaining, I mean, the retaining wall is trying to move away from backfill, what happens? See here. If the wall tries to move away from backfill, the pressure on the wall decreases. The pressure on the wall decreases. And finally, the soil fails in shear. Fails in shear. That means finally the soil surface will be, I mean, the soil wedge. It forms like this. The wedge tries to move downward, whereas resistance is acting in opposite directions. Just before failure takes place, so the minimum pressure acts on the wall is called active earth pressure. Okay, just before failure of the soil wedge, the minimum, see actually the pressure is decreasing, right? So it decreases and finally it attains a minimum value. Okay, finally it attains a minimum value just before failure of the soil wedge. The minimum pressure acts on the wall is called active earth pressure. See actually it decreases and suppose something is like this, means it decreases and finally attains a minimum value, that is active earth pressure PA. Okay, suppose if there is no displacement of the wall, then what happens? If there is no displacement of the wall, then whatever earth pressure is there called at rest earth pressure. Sometimes the wall may move towards the backfill, then earth pressure increases and finally it attains a value and failure takes place. That earth pressure is called passive earth pressure. Okay, PP. So first the second one we'll see passive. Let us take, this is the retaining wall. This is the retaining wall. Suppose somebody is pushing this wall towards the backfill. somebody is pushing this wall towards the backfill like this. That means the wall is moving, towards the backfill. See, this is backfill. The wall is moving towards the backfill due to some force. Okay. So in that situation, what happens means here now also the failure takes place like this. The wedge of the soil tries to move upward direction, whereas resistance below the failure surface acts in the downward direction like this. So failure takes place. So right here, if the wall is, if the wall tries to move towards the backfill, the pressure increases. Up to certain maximum value, and failure takes place. Just before failure, the maximum pressure experienced by the wall.
Sir, voice break aithundi.
Yeah. Just before failure, the maximum pressure experienced by the wall is called passive earth pressure. So here, whenever wall tries to move towards the backfill, the pressure increases. You can see in previous slide. Okay, the pressure increases. If wall is moving towards the backfill, the pressure increases and attains a maximum value, which is called passive earth pressure. Whenever wall moves away from backfill, then pressure decreases and attains a minimum value, which is called passive active earth pressure. Then third category, there is no movement of the wall. No movement, okay? No movement. Then whatever pressure experienced by this one is called at rest earth pressure, okay? If there is no movement of wall with respect to backfill, then the pressure experienced by the wall is called at rest earth pressure. See, based on this, we can conclude like this: active earth pressure equal to Ka times of sigma V. Passive earth pressure equal to
The previous slide.
Yeah. Not on this. Okay, now?
Sir, first slide better.
Emma? So when we need to apply active, when we need to apply passive, when we need to apply at rest. These three scenarios I will explain you. Suppose you have a retaining wall like this. Okay. Suppose this is the retaining wall. Obviously, left side it experience see here, right side it experience some pressure, left side also it experience some pressure. So you can guess in which direction wall tries to move. Wall tries to move in, because right side more earth is there, more up, I mean right side earth level is at highest, I mean up to high level is there, left side low level is there. Obviously wall tries to move in left side. Okay, so now compared to this backfill, compared to right side backfill, wall is moving away. Obviously this earth pressure is what? This is active. So, but left side of the wall, see, the wall is pushing the soil. That means wall is moving towards the soil in the case of left side. Okay. So now this side passive earth pressure will be there. Okay. Understood now scenario? So both we are getting here. One side active you are getting, other side passive you are getting. So in case of right side backfill, the wall is moving away from backfill, whereas in case of left side backfill, see this also a backfill. Okay. In case of left side backfill of the soil, the wall is pushing the backfill. That means wall is moving towards the backfill. Obviously, the experienced pressure is passive earth pressure. Okay. So in single case, we are seeing both active and passive. Then when you will get at rest earth pressure means I will give you the practical situation. Okay. Suppose so this retaining walls actually, see on this retain, Okay. See, because of this rigidity, the wall cannot move anywhere. Okay. So the wall positions are fixed. Then in this case, whatever earth pressure acts on the wall is called at rest earth pressure. So P naught. Okay. So wall cannot move either towards the backfill or away from the backfill. Then this kind of earth pressure is called at rest earth pressure. Okay. So understood now here? Sigma h equal to 1 minus sin pi by 1 plus sin pi into sigma v. So sigma h equal to Ka into sigma v. So Ka equal to 1 minus sin pi by 1 plus sin pi. Srinivas, Chepu? Yes, Srinivas?
సార్ ఇది సిగ్మా వి ప్లస్ సిగ్మా హెచ్ బై 2 సార్ చెప్పండి.
Okay, see, let us assume it is D. A to D is sigma V. A to E is sigma H. Okay, AE, AD. So midpoint of the Mohr circle will be average of sigma V and sigma H, right? See, sigma V is what? From A to D, sigma V. A to E is sigma H. Midpoint up to midpoint, average. Sigma V plus sigma H by 2. Similarly, diameter is nothing but sigma V minus sigma H. Radius is by 2. Srinivas, clear? Huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I will explain you a simple problem. Suppose you have a retaining wall like this. You have a retaining wall like this. This height is, let us assume it is h meters. Okay. Then, you know, sigma h equal to Ka into sigma V. Okay, let us assume h equal to 4 meters. Friction angle equal to here 30 degrees. And gamma equal to 18 kilonewton per meter cube. The soil unit weight, okay? Gamma. C equal to 0. Then K, what happens? 1 minus sin 30 by 1 plus sin 30 degrees. Sin 30 is half. 1 minus 0.5 by 1 plus 0.5. That equal to 0.5 by 1.5. That equal to 1 by 3. So Ka value less than 1. Okay. See, always Ka value always less than 1. Okay. So at top, let us assume it is A point, this is B point. At point A, what is the vertical stress? So at point A, no vertical stress, 0, topmost point. Okay. So what is the horizontal stress means? Ka 1 by 3 into 0, that equal to 0. At point B, vertical pressure equal to gamma h. Gamma h formula, that is 18 into 4. 72 kilonewton per meter square is the sigma V, vertical pressure. So horizontal pressure will be very simple. Just multiply this Ka to this sigma V. That equal to 24 kilonewton per meter square. Now variation is like this. Top 0, bottom 24. The pressure variation, pressure increases from top to bottom. The horizontal pressure on the wall increases from top to bottom like this. So here 24 kilonewton per meter square. So area pressure diagram gives area of pressure diagram gives total pressure Total pressure means resultant force. Total pressure on the wall per meter length. That means, and the resultant acts at the resultant means total pressure. Okay, the resultant pressure acts at centroid of the pressure diagram. Centroid of the pressure diagram. That means this is like this. See, area means here half into 4 into 24 equal to 48 kilonewton per meter. Per meter length this much, and it acts at where it is acting means 1/3 of 4, so 4/3 meters. Okay, so if you know this total pressure and its location, you can estimate shear force, bending moment, whatever you want on the wall. Okay, that is the reason to find all this pressure, earth pressure forces. Okay, total pressure and all we need to find to calculate shear force and bending moment on the wall actually. Next case, suppose if you have two layers, two different soils, layered soils, okay, what to do? That we'll see. Suppose this is the wall. Here two different soils are there like this. Okay, two different soils. So this is soil 1. This is soil 2. Okay, two different soils. These soils are, the soil heights are like this. Three meters, 4 meters. Here pi equal to 20 degrees, comma C0, gamma 18 kilonewton per meter cube. Here pi 25 degrees, C0, gamma 19 kilonewton per meter cube. Okay, these are the two different soils. Okay, so we need to find total pressure on the wall. Okay, and its location also, of course. So try to understand here the logic. This A point, B point, below this line B dash, and C point. C, 3 points are there, 4 points are there. A, B, B dash, C. B means above. B point is in soil 1, B dash point is in soil 2 at 3 meters level. Just above the interface and just below the interface, we need to calculate separately the earth pressure. Okay, so earth pressure may be different at interface. Okay, that means you can guess the pressure distribution like this. You can guess the pressure distribution like this. So it may be like this. Okay, earth pressure.
Maybe. ఫోన్ కూడా ఎక్కువ గారమై ఫోన్ కూడా స్పీకర్ బా
Okay, at yes, first of all, what is Ka1 in soil 1? What is Ka? Ka1 equal to 1 minus sine 20 degrees by 1 plus sine 20 degrees, which is equal to 1 minus sine 20 by 1 plus sine 20. 0.49. Ka2 equal to 1 minus sine 25 degrees by 1 plus sine 25 degrees. So it is 0.4058. That means 0.41. 41. Okay. These are the Ka1, Ka2. So at A, sigma V equal to 0. So PA, active earth pressure, equal to, so Ka1 into sigma V, that equal to 0.49 into 0, that equal to 0. So here value is 0. At B, sigma V equal to 18 into 3. Gamma H, okay? 18 into 3 meters height. So 54 kilonewton per meter square sigma V. So PA equal to Ka 0.49 into 54, which is equal to 0.49 into 54. 26.46. 26.46 kilonewton per meter square. Next at that means this is 26.46 and at B dash equal to, at B dash sigma V same 18 into 3 54, but PA equal to 0.41 into 54 equal to 0.41 into 54, that is 22.14. That means here we guessed actually more, but it is less. So erase and draw correctly. So it should be like this. So the values are like this. Here 26.46, just below 22.14. Finally at C, sigma V equal to 18 into 3 plus 19 into 4. So 18 into 3 plus 19 into 4, 130 kilonewton per meter square. So PA equal to 0.41 into 130, which is equal to 53.3. See, PA, this is kilonewton per meter square, means that is intensity of earth pressure. See, at bottommost point, intensity of earth pressure is 53.3 kilonewton per meter square. Intensity. Intensity is different, total earth pressure is different. So now total earth pressure means area of this pressure diagram, okay? So capital PA, small PA is intensity, capital PA is total earth pressure, that is area of this pressure diagram, that is half into 26.46 multiplied by 3 plus this trapezium, that is 22.14 plus 53.3 by 2 into 4. This is the total earth pressure. That is 0.5 into 26.46 into 3 plus 22.14 plus 53.3 divided by 2 into 4. 190.57 kilonewtons per meter length of the wall. This is the total earth pressure. So actually, how to find center of pressure? I mean, where it acts actually. Total pressure, where it acts. Let us assume this total is acting. Suppose this 190.57 is acting at something y. So what is that y? Y bar, okay? Y bar. So that we can find like this. So y bar equal to actually PA1 into y1 plus PA2 y2 plus PA3 y3 by total PA. That means PA1 means first triangle area, that is half into 26.46 into 3. Its centroid from base is 4 plus 1/3 of 3. That is y1 plus PA2 means this one, this rectangle, okay, that is 22.14, height is 4 into central distance is for 4 meters, that is 2. This is central distance plus one more triangle is there, half into the triangle width is 53.3 minus 22.14, that width, height is 4 meters, central distance is 1/3 of 4, that is 4 by 3, whole divided by PA1 plus PA2 plus PA3 is nothing but PA, that is 190.57, which is equal to 0.5 into 26.46 multiplied by 4 plus 1 5 plus 22.14 into 4 into 2, that is 8 plus 0.5 into 53.3 minus 22.14 multiplied by 4 into 4 by 3, that is 326.36 divided by 190.57, which is equal to 1.71. Is it okay? .71. Anything wrong? This is 2.41 meters from base. Okay. So for this problem, it is very simple. First, we need to find Kp, 1 plus sin 30 by 1 minus sin 30. At A, what is the sigma B? At A, what is the sigma H? So at B, bottom point, what is the sigma B? What is the sigma H? So then draw the distribution. So area of the triangle gives PP, total passive earth pressure, and it acts at the center of the pressure diagram. Okay. And I will explain you one more problem.
Sir, pressure diagram, we will draw any side.
Pressure diagram?
We will draw any side, left side or right side?
No, wherever backfill is there on that side, okay? Backfill imposing the pressure on the wall, right? Backfill
Okay,
is
sir.
creating pressure on the wall. That's why.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
See here, don't mind where, in which direction wall is moving. Specifically, I asked calculate passive earth pressure. That's why you are calculating.
Yes,
That's
sir.
all, okay?
Yes, sir.
So wall may be,
Yes,
see
sir.
here, wall may be moving. Wall is moving towards the soil due to some reason, okay? Somebody may
Right.
be moving, somebody may be pushing the wall.
Yes, sir.
That's why it is creating passive earth pressure.
Yes, sir.
So always draw pressure diagram on the soil side, okay? Soil is imposing pressure on the wall. That's
Yes,
why.
sir.
Next, one more problem I will explain you. Two-layered soil.
Yeah, yeah.
Suppose this is 4 meter, this is 2 meter. Okay. Soil 1, soil 2, pi 20 degrees, C0, gamma 18 kilonewton per meter cube. Pi 25 degrees, C0, gamma 19 kilonewton per meter cube. Find total passive earth pressure. On the wall per meter length. Also find its location. Okay. Now let us assume A, B, B dash and C. So what is KA1 first? KP1. So passive means KP, right? KP1 equal to 1 plus sine 20 degrees by 1 minus sine 20 degrees, which is equal to 1 plus sine 20 by 1 minus sine 20. 2.04. KP2 for soil 2, passive earth pressure coefficient is 1 plus sine 25 by 1 minus sine 25. Which is equal to 2.46. So I'll write like this: point sigma V Kp sigma H. Point A, B, B dash,
B.
C. At A 0, at B 18 into 4, 72. At B dash also 18 into
72.
4, 72. Here 72 plus 19 into 2. How much?
86.
Huh?
100.
106.
108.
72 plus
608.
19 into 2. 110, huh?
Yes, sir, 110.
110. Kp value for at A 2.04. B also 2.04. At C 2.46. At D 2.46. Sigma H, just multiplication, right? 0, 72 into 2.04. 146.88. Then 72 into 2.46. 177.12. Then 110 multiplied by 2.46. 270.6. Okay. Now draw the diagram. Anywhere you can draw. No need to draw inside the soil. The distribution can be drawn anywhere, not a problem. Distribution I am drawing here. Like this. The values are like this: 0, 146.88, 177.12, 270. 6. So PA equal to how much now? PP, sorry, passive earth pressure. PP equal to area of that half into 146.88 multiplied by 4 plus 170.12 plus 270.6 by 2 multiplied by 2 equal to 146.88 into 2 plus 177.12 plus 270.6. 741.48 kilonewton per meter length. Okay, then y bar equal to, so it acts somewhere here like this, and this is y bar. This value is 741.48. Okay, that y bar we need to find. Okay, y bar equal to first triangle half into 146.88 into 4 multiplied by central distance 2 plus 4 by 3 plus then rectangle 177.12 multiplied by 2 into 1 plus another triangle half into 270.6 minus 177.12 equal 93.48 into 2 into 2 by 3, right? Divided by this one PP 741.48, which is equal to 146.88 into 2 into 2 plus 4 by 3 plus 177.12 multiplied by 2 plus 93.48 into 2 by 3, 1395.76 by 741.48. .88 meters from base. Okay,
Base.
ఈ రెండు ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ వర్కౌట్ చేయండి. సో మీరు మార్నింగ్ ట్రాన్స్పోర్టేషన్ వర్కౌట్ చేశారా ప్రాబ్లమ్స్? SSD పైన నేను మెటీరియల్ పంపించాను కదా.
yes sir.
మెటీరియల్ ఎంతమందికి రావాలి హార్డ్ కాపీస్? శ్రీనివాస్ ఇంకా జోష్న రావాలి కదమ్మా.
రావాలి సార్.
కీర్తి రావాలి. కళ్యాణి తీసుకున్నారు ముందే.
సార్ మీరు న్యూగా యాడ్ చేసినవి మళ్ళీ ఇస్తా ఉన్నారు అవి కొత్త.
ఓకే 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 ఇస్తాను. కిరణ్
వచ్చాయి సార్.
ఓకే మల్లికార్జున్
రాలేదు సార్.
సో మీకు ఆల్మోస్ట్ ఈ రోజు కానీ రేపు కానీ మీకు మన ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్ దగ్గర అవైలబిలిటీలో ఉంటాయి మెటీరియల్. ప్రణీత్ నువ్వు తీసుకున్నావా?
yes sir.
మెటీరియల్ మన ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్ దగ్గర యోయో గ్రాఫిక్స్ అని ఉంటుంది అక్కడ కింద, అక్కడ అందుబాటులో ఉంటాయి. నేను చెప్తాను, మీరు వెళ్ళి తీసుకోండి.
ఏ టైంకి వెళ్ళాలి సార్?
నేను చెప్తాను. మా యాక్చువల్గా నిన్ననే మొత్తం ప్రింటింగ్ ఇచ్చేశారు. ఐ మీన్ ప్రింటింగ్ అయిపోయింది, బైండింగ్ ఇచ్చారు నిన్న. ఆల్మోస్ట్ ఈ రోజు కానీ రేపటికి కానీ వచ్చేస్తాయి. మీరు తర్వాత ఎనీ టైం వెళ్ళి తీసుకోవచ్చు అనమాట. 9 to 5 మధ్యలో ఎప్పుడైనా తీసుకోవచ్చు వెళ్ళి.
ఓకే సార్.
సార్ నాకు కుదరదు సార్, నేను ఇంట్లో ఉన్నాను.
శ్రీనివాస్
భద్రాచలం సార్, భద్రాచలంలో.
హైదరాబాద్ ఎప్పుడు వెళ్తున్నావు?
లాక్డౌన్ అయిపోతున్నాయి సార్, ఇప్పుడు వెళ్ళాలి.
లాక్డౌన్ లేదు కదా ఇప్పుడు?
అంటే మాకెళ్ళి బస్సెస్ తిరగట్లేదు సార్.